Title: Wealth and Prayer. One wealthy merchant riding on his beautiful horse was going. Near him, there were 4 chests filled with jewels and genuine pearls. By selling these genuine pearls, he was traveling with the intention of buying merchandise. Suddenly, he forgot the path and entered a desert. He had plenty of wealth, but he had as much food and drink as he did not have. There was also some water in the water cooler, which he drank as soon as he entered the hot desert. Due to this, he went quite far into the desert. Because of the intensity of the heat, he was not even capable of walking a little on the hot sand. Gradually, hunger and thirst began to torment him. If he had been riding on a camel, he might have been able to face this difficulty, because a camel is called the ship of the desert. The horse fell on the hot sand of the desert and began to struggle, so the merchant, holding the bags of diamonds, set out on foot. A very large thorn bush was seen a little way off. The merchant sat in its shade. He took out the 4 bags tied to his waist and started looking closely at the shining precious pearls. The pearls that made him happy with their brightness seemed less valuable than stones to him. His only wish was that if only those diamonds could transform into barley or wheat grains, at least his hunger would be alleviated. Gradually, as the sun began to set, the hot desert sand cooled down. He dug into a patch of moist sand beneath a solitary bush and felt delighted upon seeing it. He attempted to quench his thirst by sucking on the moist roots. Now, hunger worsened his condition. When the night ended, he intended to leave the desert before the sun rose, but the desert was so vast that the merchant, exhausted from walking, had to abandon the idea, yet the desert showed no signs of ending. With the intensifying heat, the valuable diamond chests began to feel burdensome to him. He scrutinized the 4 chests and then threw the largest one on the sand like a worthless burden. It caused him some pain, but he couldn't touch the diamonds, so he was useless at that moment. He managed to free himself from another chest after going a short distance. In this way, he lightened his load by throwing all 4 chests into the desert. He didn't feel the slightest bit of sorrow while throwing the last chest. Because his hunger was driving him insane. He kept repeating the same phrase over and over again: barley grains are better than diamond grains. When he was close to death due to the severity of hunger and thirst, tears filled his eyes. He earnestly prayed before God, "Oh my God! Instead of the 4 chests of diamonds, please grant me only 1 chest, so that I may be relieved from the torment of hunger." It is said that prayers made with a sincere heart are always accepted. The merchant was shown a cluster of trees a short distance away. It was a small oasis that was considered the responsibility of life in the desert. There was also a spring of water in this oasis. When the merchant quenched his thirst, he felt a surge of energy in his body. A short while later, his hunger increased, and the diamonds began to shine even more. Suddenly, he saw exactly the same chest as before. Just like the one he had thrown into the desert first. He couldn't believe his eyes. The chest seemed to be filled with diamonds. He opened the chest with trembling hands and once again prayed earnestly before God, "Oh God! If there are true pearls in this chest, then transform them into roasted chickpeas." There was no end to his happiness when he saw that the chest was filled with roasted chickpeas. He expressed his gratitude to God for this blessing. When the merchant returned home, having saved his life from the desert, he was a completely changed man. This incident, when the merchant narrates to his wealthy friends, he says that there is only a one-time difference of bread between rich and poor people. Therefore, no one should do wrong things in the greed of wealth. Moral: in life, the true wealthy person is the one who, facing their constraints and difficulties, moves forward with humanity and patience. From this story, we learn that in the pursuit of wealth and possessions, a person can often forget their true identity and humanity, straying from their true path. The real wealthy person is the one who understands their worth, recognizes the value of helping others, and acknowledges humanity.